and I'm sitting with all of these people who are major names in theology and religion and research, and they all smile and say, yeah, I know. Well, but the people need something, so we just tell them what they want to hear. And I'm just amazed with that. I said, why don't you tell them the truth? That's even more startling. And they said, the people don't want the truth. The people want to hear what they want to hear.
Jordan Maxwell, stay there. We'll be right back in just one moment. You have a secret society that has governed the world for thousands of years. They know all the secrets. They know if Atlantis was real. They know who built the pyramids. They have a lot of advanced knowledge. It's mainline history that NASA was founded by deep occultists. Everything they do is occultic. Now we're getting evidence that NASA was involved in in the World Trade Center attacks with the thermate that comes from one of their developments. I mean, it's just all interconnected, and we have this group who has the knowledge, and they have all their little subsidiaries that only have part of the knowledge, waging war on humanity. Jordan Maxwell, there's so much to talk about. Where should we start trying to unlock minds and explain to people the nature of what we face?
Well, let me go on with some of what we were already talking about. People will write me and call and say, where can I get information on this subject or that subject? When it's sitting right there on my website, sitting right there, the subject that they're looking for, I go into in detail, and one of the research boxes are in links or the e-books that are on my website, because I don't put things. But
most people are babies now. They want to be spoon-fed things.
I know, and it's just very, very depressing to me, because there's so many people out there that need to educate themselves, and I have to stop and go back. How many phone calls and emails I get from people who I asked them, I said, well, did you go on my website? And they say, yes. And I said, well, did you see the stuff on the links? And they said, no, we didn't see any links. Well, did you go to the research boxes, all the boxes on research, all the different subjects? No, we didn't see that. I said, well, did you go to the pictures or the audio video page on my? No, we didn't see any audio video. So then I usually end up asking, well, tell you what, why don't you tell me what you did see? Because you obviously haven't looked at anything. You haven't seen anything on my website. You just see the home page, and then you call and ask me questions, which are sitting right there on my website.
Well, Jordan, people just want to talk to you.
I know. That's what it is. They want to be able to say they talked to Jordan, but I'm 67 years old and very sick, and I don't have time to sit and talk to one person at a time. There's 6 billion on the earth. I'd like for people to go to my website and go through all of it, all of the boxes of materials and all of the words to research. I got tons of words on there that are very important. I don't put stuff on my website just to fill out space. I put it on there because it's part of my personal research and things which I consider to be very important. So I put it on my website, and then I have to sit and talk with people, explain to them, well, go on my website and hit this button. And what button? That button there that says research. And then I have to sit there for 5 minutes and wait for them to figure out what the word research means, and then they can go on. So I will spend hours on the phone with somebody from in the middle of nowhere trying to show them how to do research, how to read, and how to think.
Well,
it's just incredible.
Well, the architects have done a great job at teaching people how to not think, but at least they're groping in the dark, starting to try to learn.
Well, I know, but it's very difficult for someone who's old and sick and tired and been doing it for 48 years, and I'm just one person at a time. No,
I understand that, Jordan, but the good news is people are starting to question more than they ever have. But it is frustrating. I'll have articles, mainstream stories about camps for the American people, and the government saying they're going to put us in them, and the government saying they're poisoning us.
That's
and
right.
People just say, I choose not to believe that.
Oh, okay.
You know, like choosing to say it doesn't exist makes it so.
Oh, okay. And, I'm just amazed. Did the Jews do that in 1940 Berlin? No, you don't have a choice now. It's in your face. So I know it's just incredible, and so I just do the best I can, and have to live with the threats and the disappointments and all the rest of it. I just do the best I can. But anyway, I just also want to make sure that everyone knows there's a lot of my material out there on the web and out there for free. I didn't put anything on the web. I've never put anything on the web ever, but there's a lot of stuff out there that's under a new title, under different titles that I don't know anything about. People are using my stuff with different titles. So that's the name of that tune.
All right. Well, we'll come back and get into the nature of the New World Order on the other side with Jordan Maxwell. Stay with us. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
I wish a Ford and a Chevy would still last 10 years like they should.
Why does CBS have a all-seeing eye? Why do you see all-seeing eyes all over everything? Why are there all the occult symbols all over the NASA aircraft, spacecraft? Why does a judge wear black robes? Why do churches have steeples? These all have answers. And Jordan Maxwell's a great researcher into all of that. We'll talk about the esoteric operation, the matrix-like world that we're living in. You know, that's a good place to start before we get into the courts, because there's so many facets to this and the history of this and where all this began. But Jordan, taking 9/11, all, the two towers, the Masonic meaning of that, the date 9/11, people have pointed out hundreds of different esoteric things that happened there. But with so many other historical events, they're going to have the Olympics on 8/88 and started at 8/88. Hitler and all the occultism he was into. The elites are totally into the occult, and they just carry forward all of these ancient symbols. So I think a good place to, throw it at you is 9/11, all the esoterica there.
Well, yeah, the 888 is a numerical equivalent for the Messiah, for Jesus. The messianic number is 888. That has to do with the new order of civilization. God, there's just so much to talk about in relation to the esoteric and secret symbolism. I mean, for instance, in the ancient Hebrew and in the ancient Semitic world, the number 8 was a number for new beginnings, to begin things new, or was the number 8. Of course, if you lay the 8 down on its side, it becomes the symbol for infinity, because 8 is the only number that you can continue to write without lifting your pen from the paper. 8 is a number that it goes into infinity. You never have to, lift your pen from the paper to write 8, and so lay it down on its side, it becomes infinity.
It's eating itself, too.
Yeah. And so consequently, 8 was the number of new beginnings, or continuing to begin anew. And, of course, 13, the unlucky number of 13, the reason why it's unlucky, because it's a divine number, because it has to do with Jesus and his followers, his 12 followers. So the master, with his 12 followers, makes 13. And so consequently, we have the number 13 being the perfect number in ancient mythology, the perfect number for government, 13. Because it's a heavenly number, Jesus with his 12, making the new government of the world.
And then we see the Knights Templars getting slaughtered on Friday the 13th.
That's exactly right. And so what I'm saying is that the Knights Templars and the Masonic orders realized that they had to, if they were going to do this revolt against the old order in Europe, they wanted it to match the Masonic symbolism of numbers, numerology. Of course, one of the books in the Bible is called Numbers. And so they had to have their revolution in 1776, because 1 and 7 is 8, and 7 and 6 is 13.
I'm glad you bring that up. We have the Illuminati supposedly being founded at Ingolstadt University, 1776, launching its Operation Overthrow Europe. Simultaneously, you have it starting here in the United States. Was our revolution started by the same people, or did they try to co-opt it?
I think maybe probably a little bit of both, but I'm sure that the American Revolution was well planned in Europe for a long time.